So yesterday we heard significant announcements from the province of Ontario. What may have been lost in the shuffle with all those announcements was the actual GSN, which is our grants for student needs for those that don't know. I was a bit surprised at how little the per child or per student amount was going up. If I'm correct, it's $66 about almost 0.5%. That's not even a full percent, 0.5%. So my question is, can you comment on how this will impact our budget?
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. Well, we just got it yesterday. Overall, the GSN went up 2.7% provincially. While there were a number of funding announcements, what wasn't chatted about in the announcements was the funding that stopped too. So it seems like it was a bit of moving of buckets of money, for lack of a better word. The EFIS forms, Education Financial Information System, those forms were released yesterday, so I have staff working on that. So we're hopeful by the Operations Finance Committee meeting of May 2nd, thank you, we will have at least a preliminary analysis, high level, in terms of our funding. The anticipation, the expectation is our funding will effectively be flat. There'll be we don't anticipate to realize a significant increase at all.
So supplemental to that, so you indicated flat. This year we've operated in the red. We've gone into our reserves to meet our operational needs. With the fact that we're going to come in with flat funding, what is the likelihood that we're going to be able to operate with a balanced budget? And I know it's premature, but I'm just preliminary question here. What is the likelihood that we're going to be able to present a budget that meets all the provincial requirements without the need to go into our accumulated surplus?
Thank you for the question. Through you, Madam Chair. No, it's okay. I'm just trying to think this through. When I say flat, I mean to the extent that we do have increase in enrollment, which we may, we're finalizing those enrollment projections. Obviously, the funding will increase, but so will the cost. So I don't see that we're going to get enough funding to leave us in that surplus position where we have extra funding to do a lot of additional things. In terms of the regulations in the Education Act, we can have a deficit for 23-24 only if we did not have a deficit in the prior two fiscal years. In 21-22, I got to get my years straight, we did have a deficit for compliance purposes, and then for 22-23, right now we plan for revised estimates to have a deficit, which means when we plan this budget, we cannot. So there will be a number of challenging decisions as a board that will have to be made in order to ensure we balance the budget. That being said, maybe we'll be okay in 22-23. We're tracking absenteeism, we're tracking trending rates, against expenses and things of that nature. We don't know what the year-end discount rate will be on employee future benefits, but I don't know that you want to balance or take comfort from a year-end discount rate adjustment either. You have to actually look at your cost structures in terms of how you operate. So, if we're holding the line on expenses, we're being very tight. That's the messaging that's coming across for this fiscal year, so that hopefully maybe we'll be okay, so we have that flexibility in 23-24. But that being said, I don't know that trying to budget on a deficit on a consistent basis is a wise financial decision. You need to adjust your cost structures accordingly, and we will have some difficult decisions to make.
Trustee